Old car, Volkswagen. Swallowed another bug. There's a bunch of old tires. It's like a river of old tires. Today is Monday, September 9th. Today the 9th? I think it's September 9th. 2013. It's about 3 in the afternoon and mid to high 80s. We're just outside Boulder Creek, Oscar and myself. This is where I was about a month ago at night. Just flies, I think, no mosquitoes. I don't know. Something was buzzing around my head and I swallowed something. I like to think it was a fly. That's a pretty good downslope there. I don't know if they see it on the video. But, and then that's about 200 foot up to the top there. We're about 10 minutes in on our hike. We're going to go about 3/4 of a mile back here. See what we see. The what? Oh, that's interesting. Is it in the ground?
No, it's just laying there.
Well, it could be somebody's walking stick.
Yeah, big hands.
And they just keep it there for whatever reason. Interesting, though.
Yeah. That'd fit your hands. That wouldn't fit mine.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I could work it.
Pretty thick.
That'd work for me. It'd be just a little tall. So the trail's pretty nice, but it's pretty rugged if you get off trail.
Oh yeah.
We're maybe 20 minutes in. Flies are buzzing around my ears. I can do this without falling. Whee! Be careful, that's pretty slick. Okay. Got it?
Got that.
Okay. You have a lower center of gravity. Now see, at night when you get to an area like this, it opens up some, so you got a little more light. But when the moon's not up very high, it's still pretty dark. Spooky. Yeah, see, there's tire tracks, bike tire tracks. So there's mountain bikers that go through here. What was the Beatles song? The long and the road. I don't remember the song. Pretty neat though. I like this. Half a mile, you're in the forest. We're about a half an hour into our hike, aren't we?
Yeah.
And Oscar had a temperature gauge. It was 86, maybe 88. We couldn't exactly see it because we're old.
Black. Another path.
Well, I kind of thought that that path that went up at the start was going to somebody's house. Hear that? Oscar. It's a bird or something. Could be a deer. Oh, it could be a squirrel. That sounds like a squirrel honking.
Yeah, it does.
He's upset. See anything?
Somebody's been walking up here. A lot of shoe prints.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't see any power lines or anything.
I don't know.
It doesn't really make any sense. Oscar found another stick by the side of the trail, just kind of hanging out here. I guess it's something that could have fallen there. There are other sticks down below there. This one just happened to hit this way, but I don't know. Just kind of, it's loose. Actually it's kind of dug in there a little bit. Just kind of hanging there. Interesting. Oscar's become a stick man. Big old tree.
You didn't climb over that or under?
What was that behind us?
Woodpecker, I think.
Must be a big woodpecker.
Woodpecker or jackhammer.
Well, you know, in the dark, I don't remember climbing over it, but we may have. The bike went this way. Bikes, yeah. More than one. Look at this one. Let's get my ruler out time.
Oh, that's a good print.
Let me take a picture and then you can. I hope that's showing up. It's kind of real sunny right here. I can't see what's in the viewfinder. But that's a big dog print of some kind. But people do walk their dogs here, I've heard. I don't know if they go this far in.
real nice going.
Real nice and cool here where the redwood trees are. Be a good place to hang out. Pretty steep here, but we can kind of see out through the forest across the valley. All the mockingbirds are upset behind me. That's the direction we're going. Still pretty warm. That's where we came from. That's where we're going. But we found a road. There are other roads, but this one has a building up here. Oscar walked up there and said it was an outhouse, so we'll go check out what it is. Huh, does look like an outhouse. Is that what it is?
You can hear water in there.
Oh, this is some kind of a pump house.
Sewer, yeah.
Yeah, because there's something running in here. That's maybe a breaker or a pump. I don't know.
Probably a pump.
Here's a
Sewer line.
well, isn't that an interesting find out in the middle of the forest? Well, we've been going about an hour and a half, I'd say, when you say hour and a half.
Yes.
And a good mile, maybe longer, going towards a mile and a half in. Not bad during the day. At night it's a little spooky here. So we've been going, oh, a good hour and a half, maybe hour 45 minutes. The trail is going back downhill, which means we'd have to walk back up it if we kept going. So this is about as far as we're going to go. It's probably about a mile and a half hike one way. But other than this little part going back uphill, the good news is that the rest of the hike will be mostly flat or downhill. Okay, we're kind of on the way back. We've maybe gone back, what'd you say, a third of a mile maybe?
Yes.
And this, a month ago, was where we heard a wood knock at 2 in the morning up that hill. And this down here was where Ralph had stopped. And that's maybe 50 yards. I bet on, that's a good half of a football field anyway. He kind of stopped down there midway. And Tony and I were standing here for a while, and then we decided that we'll walk up here because we didn't see Ralph. Ralph had continued on. I got sweat coming down in my eyeballs. I can't see. It's still kind of warm, even though it's like 5:30 in the evening. Yeah, it might not even have been that far, because I remember we were looking up this channel here. I know we stopped here and looked up this channel. And this was where we heard something come down and approach us, in these bushes right up here. See, at night you can't tell the bushes are there when it's in the dark. I thought it was just the trees and it was open, but there's bushes there. And the wood knot came from up here, and then 5 or 10 minutes later, when Tony and I got up to here, we heard like something come at least a couple of steps at the end, right on the other side of these bushes. I don't know, it might have just been a small animal. I'll have to go back and listen to the audio, but right there was where that was. And then Ralph had continued on around the corner there. And I don't remember this big down being here, but there is one. At night everything looks kind of different too. But this was about 2 in the morning, and we were pretty much unannounced the second time we came here at night. It was just myself, Tony, and Ralph. And somewhere where we came down the trail, right in there till we came up here. I know we stopped there by the tree, down tree, because Tony wanted to sit down there. We were getting tired. And then we came up this far, because I remember looking up this channel and kind of wondering, because we didn't see Ralph anymore, wondering if Ralph had kind of gone up that way, but he didn't. He kept on going down the trail. And the wood knock, it came from up in here, and something, we could hear something, at least a couple of steps in the leaves, right on the other side of these bushes. In fact, I'll use the zoom. I don't think I've used the zoom today. Right there. That is a stump burned out. Undoubtedly. Hard to see in this viewfinder, but be able to see it on the film. And this one over here is a rock. I don't see anything else interesting. Very quiet here, other than an occasional bird. So, we found another stick sticking out. A little smaller than the previous ones. And here's one here that more than likely fell. So this could have fallen out of the tree. The dirt's kind of, depending on the time of day or year, it's probably soft. So if it falls straight down out of the tree, bong, isn't quite in the ground good enough to be vertical, but kind of stays there without falling over. Huh? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So it could be natural. Or it could be somebody coming along sticking sticks in the ground. Who knows? Very nice area here. Cooler. No water.
How far that was in there?
How far?
Right there.
Let me film that. Oh, that's about almost a foot, huh?
Yeah.
Strange. How heavy is it?
Not that heavy, it's light.
So if that fell from 100 foot, would you say the tree is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Straight down, bang! Could, and there's other sticks here that have fallen.
That one just...
So that one could have just stuck like that.
Pretty deep, huh?
See, a human would carry it like you're carrying it. Big end up here. Where's my finger? Big end up there. Little end down there. Not the other way around, which it was stuck in the ground. The big end was stuck in the ground. Like that. I don't know. but you can't rule out that it's natural, so who knows.
That could scare somebody out.
Yeah, if it fell next to you. Okay. Pretty fresh poop. We're going to do the stick test, stick poke test. Ooh, yeah. Very fresh. Ooh. But we're maybe a half a mile from the car. That looks kind of weird now. I got stick holes in it. We're maybe a half a mile to the car that way. Hopefully less. But people walk their dogs up here, so this could have been a dog. There's a deer up there. I don't see where it went.
I can't even see the camera.
It's getting on towards 6 o'clock. We got 2 deer up above us here. We're almost back to the car. There's 2 deer right up in here. At least 2, maybe 3. Because the first one I saw a minute or 2 ago was up here, and then there were 2 more going up this way. They kept going. I think this is where we were stopped the first night on August. Friday night was, I think, August 16, and then early Saturday morning, which was when we entered here about 12:30, was the 17th. So this is where we had all the weird stuff go on. So Ralph was looking in this direction downslope with night vision and with his shotgun mic, and was saying that he was hearing something walking around down there. And this direction was where the howler was when we first started. This direction's back to the car. And so I was probably standing about here. And I could see moonlight through the trees here. And then over here, where it's thicker, was a dark area at night. And that's what I heard after the howls were about 12:40. We started up the trail about 12:30. We got here, we were fiddling around with Ralph's audio recorder, and the witness was jabbering with Ralph and whatnot. So we got here about 12:40. We heard the howl behind us. So we turned off our lights and we were being quiet and listening. And the moon was up over here, about that high. So there was some light in here. And I heard first a noise, which turned out to be a wood knock. And then a little closer, I heard a stick break. And this started about 12:54, so 14 minutes later after we've been standing here. And then over here, we heard a big wood knock. And then the witness said he heard something walking up here in that time frame. Ralph was facing this way, downslope, and was hearing stuff, at least one thing, walking around. And that's where he thought that he saw some eye shine. Now I asked Ralph later, a few days later, did you see a body? He didn't see a body. So it could have been an owl or some other kind of animal that he caught eye shine on. But Ralph kind of had the idea that when he shined his night vision in the direction of what he was hearing sound from, it hid. And when he moved the night vision in a different direction, then he'd hear movement again down there. So like something was able to see the IR light or whatever kind of light he has in his night vision. But there is a trail that cuts up the hill here and goes up this way. Up, I think it goes that way though, but there's a trail right here. It's right up there, right there. But anyway, this is where we were the first night. I'm calling it the first night of 2 night ops. And then a week later we came back without the witness. myself, Tony, and Ralph, and we went about 3/4 of a mile up. Not as far as Oscar and I did today. And we heard a wood knock. We started at about 12:10. We got some kind of weird sound, but it might have been a coyote or an owl while we were at the car. And then when we were kind of at the far end of our hike that night, and that would have been the night of the 24th. So if the 24th was Saturday, it was real early in the morning, like 12:10 when we started. 12:15, something like that. So it was about 2 a.m. by the time we got to the, because we'd walk and we'd stop and listen, we would walk and stop and listen. So it was about 2 a.m. when we got to the far end of our hike that night, and we definitely heard a wood knock up the hill, which I had recorded earlier today, the area. So this is where we were.